Hello everybody, welcome to Life Taps and Backstabs. This is my YouTube channel where I go over my three favourite classes in Pantheon, and it's the Rogue, the Necromancer and the Dire Lord, hence life tapping and backstabbing. So I hope we're all alright, and it is my favourite class today. It is the Rogue, because on Joppa's stream a couple of days ago, or maybe it was yesterday, he brought up that Mark Fiosoa has been working on a new line of abilities for the Rogue, which is really, really cool and exciting. I thought I would do a video about them because they're actually quite cool, and I think they're worthy of a discussion. So, what are those abilities? I thought I would also just show you very, very quickly. I'm over in Eastern Plains at the moment, just doing some soloing and a little bit of XP while I wait for some guildies to pop on. It's a gorgeous zone, and yeah. So anyway, let's let's have a look at some of the abilities. Now, there are two abilities that have been shown off. See if I can get the right screenshot. Here we go. So this is the first one. So this is the explosive lined jacket. So the range, the line of abilities are going to be jackets. They're going to be called jackets, and I'm guessing they're going to be some sort of thing that you put on the front of your chest, like a little harness or something, and then the first time you get hit in combat, they're going to trigger and they're going to do something. And this one, as you can see, it rigs yourself with an explosive jacket. The next time you receive physical damage, remember bleed is also physical damage as well, but then that's not particularly relevant because I'm guessing you're going to be hit. You're going to be hit by the thing that makes you bleed anyway, straight away. So that's going to be the next time you receive physical damage. The jacket will explode, dealing damage to yourself, 5% of your total health, and heavy damage to your opponent. So the 5% of your total health, that's helping it ramp up to keep it sort of relevant damage. Of course, remember, we're getting a lot of these at lower levels, and once we are level 40, level 50, maybe with 800 hit points or something, if this is dealing damage of 5 damage to us at level 3 or at level 8 or whatever level we get these, then that damage at level 40 is going to be completely insignificant and we're not going to worry about it. So making sure that that percentage is still making it relevant at higher levels is probably a good thing, as long as the heavy damage also ramps up as well. Now, it doesn't say on here what stats the damage is affected by, so maybe it is intelligence, which seems to be one of the stats that they're using for procs, but we don't know. And as long as, like I was saying, as long as the heavy damage triggers and scales up as we level, it's going to be really, really good. I'm guessing it will, because that's one of the changes that we've seen on the explosive trap, which is awesome. You cannot be used in combat, so you can't put this on during combat, and only one jacket may be used at a time, which makes sense. It's not like you're going to put on 18 jackets. And this is actually the explosive trap. If anybody has been up in Eastern Plains and you found the adders up here, the adders have a huge hitbox, which just makes any spell effect that we're casting on them enormous, which is a really, really good fun for the explosive trap. So if you are ever up in Eastern Plains and you're duoing or in a group or even soloing at slightly higher levels, because the adders are a little bit higher level than me at the moment, but I would urge you to drop an explosive trap on an adder, because it goes boom, and yeah, it's just really, really impressive. So I do have a video of the explosive trap going off, which is really cool, and so here is the video. So this is Joppa on his stream. He's just getting beaten up by a brown rat, and he's currently playing his druid, but he's memorized and got his explosive line jacket ability. So here it is. He's applying it. It takes 5 seconds to apply, and then you'll see you get a buff up in the top corner, and that is your explosive jacket. And perfect timing as well. It goes dark just before he hits this off, so we can properly see. It is. I'm pretty sure it's exactly the same as the explosive trap animation, the graphics, the spell effects, but it's properly impressive, as you would expect. So the brown rat here, going to hit that. Brown rat's going to hit us. It's going to trigger the explosive jacket. There it is. So that's the big boom, and you can see we've taken 3 damage from the explosive line jacket. So that's 5% of the current hit points. Jopper at the moment is level 3, and the brown rat has taken 24 explosive line jacket damage. So I'm guessing that's going to ramp up. At the moment at level 21, I'm nearly 22. I think the explosive trap is doing 30, 35, 36. So that will obviously kind of ramp up, hopefully. So that's the explosive lined jacket, and then we also have, if we go back to our screenshots up here, we also have a poison lined jacket. It's applied in exactly the same way. You can only have one at any one time. You can't use in combat, so again it's a preparation thing. I do like how the rogues have to be kind of prepared. If you watch my soloing as a rogue video, you kind of have to plan every encounter out a little bit, drop your traps down, plan where you're going to be pulling and where you're going to be killing the mob, and the jackets kind of add another layer to that. And we'll get onto that in a little bit. But rig yourself with a poison-filled jacket this time. The next time you receive physical damage, and this is actually really interesting, the jacket will explode, releasing a burst of toxic fumes. The poison deals damage over time to your target. However, due to your continued exposure to this mixture, you gain regenerative effects for a short duration. I need to put my teeth in. Cannot be used in combat, only one jacket, maybe use it at a time. So this is going to help us just kind of take the top level of damage off when we are in combat. Now, I'm hoping this is going to ramp up as well. The explosive trap and everything, that has had a little change so that ramps up. I would love to see the toxins ramp up as well. They are still just doing 2 damage a tick at level 21, and I think at level 35 in the seasons they were still just doing 2 damage a tick. They might have got to 3, I'm not sure. I'm guessing maybe that's linked to a stat characteristic that we've got, I'm not sure. But yeah, it would be nice to see. Anyway, the poison line jacket at level 3. So Jopper was level 3 when he triggered this. He was healing for 3 damage a tick. So just takes a little bit of the damage off the top when we're getting hit in combat. So if we're getting hit for 5 and we're healing for 2, we've taken a net loss of 3 damage, sort of thing. So it just takes a little bit off the top. It's pretty much the same, similar kind of thing as the warrior. So the warrior out of combat, it currently works in combat as well, but out of combat the warrior gets six hit points back every tick. So just helps them out of combat to get back into combat again nice and quickly. Now, these are the 2 abilities that we've got. They are a utility. So they're going to be another utility slot to put in here. When are we going to use them? Now, the utilities of the rogue are very busy at the moment, which is good. It's nice to have options. It's great. I love having the different directions in which we can solo. Yes, you can just be blinkered and just take the one best thing so that you can always do the maximum damage at any one time and try and hit for the highest backstab you can. However, the joy and the fun that I have in the rogue is being able to be really kind of selfless, if you like, which as a rogue I know is a little bit weird, but be really selfless in a group and make sure that you are doing what's best for the group, kind of thing. So at the moment I'm soloing, so I have Sinister Strikes up. I've got Opportunism, which is really, really good to turn opportunity points into readiness. As you can see here, we get 1 for 500. So if you have 1 opportunity, you can just turn it into an ability straight away, because these tend to cost 1,000 readiness. We have Shadow Step, just so I can get to the next mob nice and quickly. I've got Explosive Trap, so I can drop it down and do a little bit of damage. Obviously got Ambidextrous in here. I'm currently running 2 piercing weapons, so I've got Haste, and then I've got Flash Bomb. You'll notice that, just quickly as a slight off tangent, you'll notice my last 2 items here, Flash Bomb and Smoke Trick, have got different hotkeys. So I obviously use WASD to move, I've tried to do ESDF, but it just kind of shifts my hand over too much. I don't like it. So I use WASDF to move, but then I have E and Q as these two abilities here, and they change dependent on what is the really most important ability. So when I'm wandering around the world, I will drop Shadow Step into there, and then I can just E and move nice and quickly. Yeah, Flash Bomb is the one there, and then it's usually Smoke Trick in here, so I can mez nice and quickly for groups and things like that. So where would a jacket fit in here? Well, if I'm soloing, I'd probably have to drop one of these two out and pop a jacket in there, and just accept that I'm going to be moving slower between the mobs. And kind of the setup time and the pacing is a little bit slower. So maybe I would drop Shadow Step and I'd put the jacket in there. If I was in a group, what would a group situation look like? So a group situation, let's get a group situation up. So I would have Spring Wire Trap in there. I've got the Toxins, I've got Caltrops, depending on where the mobs are and what we're killing, the Caltrops will probably drop in here. The Explosive Trap in a group tend to drop out. It can cause a little bit too much problems with the AoE, so what would drop in there instead? Yeah, so maybe that would be... so you could probably put Opportunityism in there. If I was in a group and we were doing some mezzes, I would probably drop a flash trap in there. They're really, really useful so they disorientate, and then we can mez for a little bit longer and kind of lock them down a bit more. So yeah, there is room. There's room to put the jackets in. Again, it shifts your focus. If you are in a group and you are trying to help them out with ads, I tend to run Flash Trap and Smoke Trip so that I can disorientate and mez them really, really early on. The traps at the moment are a little bit tricky to kind of place and put down, and they've got a little bit of a delay. So I'd love the Visionary Realms, if you're watching, I'd love you to be able to kind of just improve the trap placement a little bit. But yeah, if we are in a group, I mean, ultimately, if we're in a group, we don't want to be getting hit anyway. So the Explosive Jacket, I don't think is going to get much use in a group. If we're getting hit in a group, we're generally fighting group mobs, so we're going to be getting hit for hundreds or something. That's going to be putting stress on the healer, and to then flick his target and drop a heal on us. The Poison Trap might be quite interesting, because if the mob is doing AoE, the Poison Jacket, if the mob is AoEing and we're taking a little bit of damage, then it could just kind of top us up a little bit there like that. Obviously let your healer know that if you have taken a little bit of damage, it's okay, because we're going to get that damage back throughout the fight. So I could see a use for the healing. I mean, I can always see a use for a healing jacket. The Explosive Jacket... The Explosive Jacket sort of feels like a win more button, if I'm honest. Because if we're using the Explosive Jacket, we're kind of going all out DPS on sort of easy mobs. So maybe, again, it's dependent on us getting hit. So if we're in a group, we're not generally getting hit, or we don't want to get hit. If we're soloing, the heal jacket is probably going to be better. One of the things I will say, and I really don't want Visionary Realms to forget our Toxins, because poisons, especially in EverQuest, the poisons in EverQuest did absolutely nothing, and I used to love going around doing my poison crafting up poisons for my weapons just for the point of it, sort of thing. They very rarely did anything at all. They would proc for a little bit of damage, or they'd maybe snare the mob by a tiny amount. So I just don't want Visionary Realms to forget about our Toxins. I want to have more toxins, and the healing jacket feels like it could have been a toxin, like a life tap proc toxin would have been amazing. I understand that the toxins are an ability which we have to prep and turn into a buff, but then it comes off our utility bar, so there's not a lot of choice and decision on that. It's like, okay, I need to put my toxins on, get a stack of toxins, get them ready to fight, and then take them off the bar. Whereas the jackets feel like a decision that we have to make to then give up something else. And at the moment, I'm not sure what I'd give up for the explosive jacket. And I'm not sure how that would work in a fight as well. Because like a lot of the time I'm trying to, as a rogue, you don't want to get hit. So we're trying to shadow clone as often as we can. We're trying to flash bomb and stun as often as we can. Like flash bombing and mezzing in the middle of a fight is really, really useful. Give us a little bit of time to regen. If we've got that healing jacket on, that would be a really cool way of like just giving us a little bit of a breather. But fights as a rogue tend to be a little bit more proactive in terms of, okay, I'm a little bit low on health now. I'm just going to give myself a bit of a breather. I'm going to stun the mob. Maybe mez it, maybe back off a little bit, move around the back, get in another backstab, or something like that. So, as much as I really like the jackets, and it's really cool having more abilities, I'm struggling to see where they would fit in. The explosive jacket, like I say, it feels like a win more button. Like, I'm going to be winning this fight anyway, so I'm going to put an explosive jacket on and blow it up and win it even more. I know Dropper said that it would be really interesting to have a knockback on that because it looks so impressive. It's a similar thing. It's a similar thing as the explosive trap. The explosive trap looked really impressive, and it's nice that damage now scales. So a knockback, if you were to put a knockback on the explosive trap, on the explosive jacket, or a stun interrupt, but then you're not in control of when the mob is going to be able to hit you. Yeah, it's an interesting one. The jackets are an interesting one. I love the idea of them. I love the idea of them. It's a nice thing to have another set of abilities. I'm just struggling to see where they're going to sit into the utility bar. I'd love to know your thoughts on it. And where and how you think you would be able to use them. The healing one is the really interesting one. There is a cleric buff that gives you a life tap style proc every time you hit with your weapons, which is lovely as a rogue. It's really, really nice. 45-minute cast, 45-minute lasting buff, which is really useful when you're soloing. It's a little bit strong when you solo too, but to be honest, because we hit so much and so quickly. So I would like to see the toxin line advance, and I'm sure they're going to. Like, we're still really early in the infancy of the game, sort of thing. So there's still an absolute load of abilities which are going to be added to, and hopefully advanced and improved upon. The toxins, I think, is one that I would like to see, even if it's just like a fire toxin, and this one's a poison toxin. A life tap toxin would be amazing. I'd absolutely adore a life tap toxin. So the jackets as themselves, I'm kind of starting to waffle a little bit, but I'm trying to come up with a situation where I would use the explosive one. It's just a different way in which we can deploy damage, and if we can have more layers in which we can deploy damage, it's going to be beneficial. The way of deploying damage to our mob by getting hit doesn't feel particularly roguey. I understand it sort of fills in a little bit of a gap for us in terms of what we're doing when we are getting hit. So if we are getting hit, there's now a benefit because we're actually doing damage back out again, and even more of a benefit if we're using the poison one because we're getting that little bit of a heal coming in as well. The heal did pop up like a buff, so it popped up here like it was a buff, which was really nice. So I'm guessing that's going to finish once the mob is dead, and we'll just kind of have to sit and apply and stick the jacket back on again, ready for the next mob. So it's not like it's out of combat healing. But yeah, let me know what you think. I'm going to leave the video there. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you would give up for a jacket on your utility bar. And hopefully I will see you next time at the next video. There's a few videos I've got planned. I'm going to do a rogue feedback video. I'm going to be going through all our abilities in here, even Unstable Mixture, which I still haven't bought. Unstable Mixture is it's my absolute pet hate. Feel free to go and watch the video on Unstable Mixture. It's on my channel. So yes, I'm going to go through all the abilities. I'm going to have to go and buy Unstable Mixtures just so I can include it in the feedback video. So I'm going to go through all the abilities, give you all my feedback, give you kind of like how I use them. We're going to do a rogue group video, like how I'm grouping as a rogue and all the different abilities and setups and layouts that I do, because everything changes an awful lot. Particularly our technique bar. Our technique bar is so useful as a rogue. It's so flexible. Yeah, plenty of videos coming. Please drop me a subscribe. That would be amazing. I need to try and get to 500 subscribers so that YouTube can then pay me for all the amazing views that you're giving me. So thank you very much for all that. And as always, guys, I will see you in Terminus. Take care. Have a lovely day. And Smoke Trick is just the not Smoke Trick, Shadow oh god, what's it called? Shadow Walk is just the coolest looking ability in the game, and I will not have anybody say otherwise. Thanks very much, everybody. Take care, and I'll see you later. Bye bye.